Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I have the Feiyutech WG2X and the Zhiyun Rider M. They're both wearable gimbals and I want to know which one's better. I do a lot of mountain biking and snowboarding, and one thing I want to do is get a lot of good footage when I'm out riding, whether it's to show me falling off or whether it's just to get some great footage of great trails and things that I'm riding. However, not all of us can afford the brand new GoPro 7 with the really good stabilization, so a cheaper solution is to buy a gimbal. Now there are plenty of gimbals out there, but the ones with the big handles on aren't that great when you want to attach them to yourself and you want to ride or you want to do some kind of action sport. And this is where wearable gimbals come into play. I have the Zhiyun Rider M and I've had it for quite a while, but Feiyutech sent me the WG2X, which is their new wearable gimbal. So I wanted to see how good this one was compared to the Rider M. So today I'm going to shoot some mountain biking and I'm going to see which one is the most user-friendly and see which one is the easiest to get on with. As I said, I've used the Rider M for a long time, so I know it quite well. The Feiyutech is a little bit newer to me, but I want to see which one's better and which one produces the best footage. And this means proper riding down single track lanes. No just walking through the park or anything like that. Proper action camera use with an action camera and a gimbal. I've already said Feiyutech have sent me this gimbal, and I want to be completely transparent, and I wanted to do a side-by-side test that wasn't biased at all. I have no affiliations to Feiyutech or Zhiyun. I just wanted to see which wearable gimbal worked the best. Out of the box, with these settings provided, the Feiyutech does a lot better. The Zhiyun Rider M does lag badly on the corners and drifts quite a bit. On this run, you can see the Feiyutech keeping up with my average cornering abilities, but the Zhiyun Rider M doesn't do so well at all. On this corner, the Zhiyun actually rattles around a little, giving really bad footage, whereas the Feiyutech does a much better job. Also, the audio you've been hearing on this riding clip is from the Feiyutech, which is usable, whereas if I switch it to the Zhiyun Rider M, the audio is unusable. This is from the gimbal being mounted on the opposite side of the GoPro and one of the motors being really close to the microphone. So if you have the Zhiyun Rider M, the initial settings aren't that good. I did a little bit of research online and I came across Jordan Boostmaster's channel. He's got some fantastic footage and he's a really good mountain biker. So if you're into mountain biking, check his channel out. I've linked it in the corner and in the description. I basically learnt from him how to set the Zhiyun Rider M up so it works really well for mountain biking. Another modification I learnt from Jordan was taping the coins on the side of the gimbal. With the GoPro 5, 6 or 7, if you do have the Rider M, you will have to balance it out. After putting these settings into the Zhiyun Rider M, it did a much better job. It just about kept up with the cornering and also followed my speed. I've linked a poll in the corner, so click on the eye in the corner and let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer the Zhiyun Rider M or do you prefer the Feiyutech WG2X? Even with these newer settings in the Zhiyun Rider M, I still prefer the Feiyutech, but only just. The one other thing to think about is the Feiyutech has a built-in battery, whereas the Zhiyun Rider M has removable batteries. Now, if you're filming all day and you've got lots of GoPro batteries, this means that you can swap out the batteries in the Zhiyun Rider M. They both really do give some great shots, and they're much better than having the GoPro on its own without any kind of stabilization. If you have anything between the GoPro 1 and the GoPro 6, it's well worth getting one of these gimbals. If you want usability straight out of the box, I'd suggest getting the Feiyutech. If you're more of a tech head, I'd say go with the Zhiyun Rider M. Ultimately, for me as a videographer and a mountain biker, as well as having stabilized footage, I need good audio. And with the Zhiyun Rider M, I've never been able to use any of the audio from the GoPro. With the Feiyutech WG2X, the audio is really usable, as you can hear right now. The Feiyutech out of the box works really well. And I think over the next couple of months, I'm going to tweak and tune the settings to smooth out the turns. When you look at these gimbals side by side, there doesn't seem to be much difference in the size. However, the Zhiyun Rider M does feel a lot smaller. One thing I have found is that when you mount it to the chest mount, because the back of the gimbal hangs over the back of the Zhiyun Rider M, that back motor is more likely to actually hit your chest or hit part of your body as you're riding along. With the Feiyutech, the back of the base hangs out a little bit further than the back motor, so this is less likely to happen. They both stabilize the footage well, and they both have apps that enable you to control the gimbals with. They both also have settings where you can fine-tune the gimbal for the sport or activity you're shooting. After using both of these apps, I found that the Feiyutech settings are a lot more user-friendly, whereas the Zhiyun settings are a lot more technical. So here are the pros and cons for each gimbal. It needs modifying for the GoPro 5 to the GoPro 7. It's not weather resistant. It doesn't come with a tripod. It needs a lot of changes made in the settings in the app for fast sports. And the main one that I really hate about this gimbal is that the audio is totally unusable. This is really annoying, as sometimes you want to use the background audio to add a bit of feel to your video. Also, on really steep courses with really sharp corners, you start getting a bit of rattle on those corners. With the Zhiyun Rider M, it has small buttons that won't be pressed by mistake. It comes with removable batteries and an extra set of batteries. It also comes with a handle for handheld shooting. The big buttons protrude too much. I had to keep it in the box and not in my bag for fear of pressing these buttons inadvertently, or when it's in my bag, something pressing against these buttons and turning the gimbal on. I hope when they make the next one, they put them in more discreet positions so it's harder to press these buttons. That will be a great addition to this gimbal. Either that, or maybe a switch to turn it on and off. One thing that is actually an advantage is that it has an automatic cut-off switch. So if there's too much pressure on the gimbal or the motors are really being worked hard, it will turn itself off. The Feiyutech WG2X doesn't come with a handle, but it does come with a tripod. And even though it's a little bit small, you can close this tripod up and use it as a handle for handheld filming. It's adjustable for different GoPros. It has a different mount supplied for the GoPro Session. It's weatherproof, but not waterproof. The settings are really good out of the box. The audio is really usable and you don't get any of that gimbal motor noise. And that's about it. They're both great gimbals and you won't go far wrong buying either. But I'm going to start using the Feiyutech with my GoPro 5 a lot more. Now this is the first kind of product review that I've done on my channel. If you like it, leave a comment below. It'll be great to hear your thoughts. As I've already said, I do a lot of mountain biking and snowboarding, so I use these gimbals a lot. Also, when I'm getting B-roll for some of my videos, I'll just want to take along the GoPro and have that footage stabilized. So this is the perfect companion for getting those grabbed shots of B-roll that I might use in some of my videos. And if you want to see more of these videos, I'd really like to test these gimbals against the stabilization in the GoPro 7. So if you want to see this video, let me know in the comments below. Also, Feiyutech have sent me a discount code, so if you're interested in their gimbal, see the link below in the description and this will give you a little bit off their retail price. As always, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. And for weekly tutorials, hints and tips in photography and videography, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you next time.